Hello leaders, and welcome back to part 2 of this very special 1-year anniversary event for the weekly leadership experience. That's right, it's been 12 months since the first episode of the show went to air, and we are celebrating by catching up with some of our past guests and asking for a little bit of input on a couple of key questions. In part 1, we heard from a number of different guests talking about things such as putting your purpose into perspective, simplifying things and drilling down to what's important, architecting your happiness, and one of my personal favorites, pet the lizard, feed the mouse, hug the monkey. If you're not sure what that is, you got to go back and check it out. In fact, make sure you do get to listen to part 1 entirely if you haven't already. There's a ton of great value there, and there's going to be a ton of great value in this part as well. So let's get started. Up first, we have Christina Eanes, the escape room expert who joined me on episode 36, and Christina shares a really compelling story about handling a sticky situation. After Christina, we have Carolene Méli, who is connecting with me from the Greek islands to share an important point about knowing who you are and maintaining curiosity.
Hi, my name is Christina Eanes. I'm from Tysons, Virginia in the U.S., and I own my own professional development company. You can check it out at ChristinaEanes.com. It's hard to choose a favorite leadership moment, but I thought I'd share one that I recently shared in a leadership style course I was leading with a group of executives. My team and I were working on launching a huge program. We're talking training 6,000 leaders, anywhere from line level up to executive level, over a period of 18 months. This course included several assessments, a 360 assessment, a few preferences assessments. And our executive of the group, the one leading this entire project for a huge organization, was very particular about when each assessment should be given out to the different participants. At the point of this leadership moment, we had only run a few of these week-long seminars on leadership. So I had two different teams of staff. I had a logistics team, and then I had an instructor team. And it was at a point in the seminar that the executive was up introducing the new assessment that we were about to pass out to the participants. And then my logistics staff started passing out the assessment. And as I looked around, I noticed some people were opening up an assessment that wasn't supposed to be passed out until later in the week. I had a moment of sheer internal panic because I knew how important it was to our executive that this went very smoothly. Essentially, this program was her baby. And I knew from hearing about past experiences with this executive that she could get pretty angry about things. So I first spoke with my staff and asked them to stop passing assessments out at this point. And then I started walking across the room to let the executive know that we had made a huge mistake. Thankfully, the room was very long, like the width of an American football field. So it gave me time to think as I walked across. And boy, that walk seemed to have taken forever. And as I was walking across, I remember thinking, the way I handle this is going to define me as a leader with this group of people. And so I decided by the time I got there that I was going to take full responsibility for the action, that I would apologize profusely, and then offer up some suggestions for immediately taking care of the issue. When I got there to the executive, I told her exactly what had happened, and I was so surprised by her response. She said, well, I guess we can figure out if the assessment works releasing it a little early. And then she went to the microphone and started giving the different instructions to the participants. I was so impressed with the way that she handled it, and I was also very happy on how I decided I wanted to handle it. See, for us leaders, how to handle failures, our own and those of our staff members, can be a little difficult. It can be a little tricky. But how you respond to failure, your own and those of your followers, defines you as a leader. What kind of leader do you want to be? Hopefully, one that role models accountability, vulnerability, and a growth mindset. One that helps develop their followers by helping them learn from their mistakes or failures. I know that's the kind of leader I want to be.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carolene Méli, and I come from a number of different places, kind of a very multicultural background, but I am currently in the Greek islands. I've decided to move here full time, so I'm spending the summer checking out a number of the different islands, living and working from a number of the different islands to decide which one I like the best and which one makes most sense for my current situation in terms of living and working. One thing that I've learned over the last year when it comes to leadership is really that I belong in a team and I belong leading a team. The last year I spent most of it really in a solopreneur kind of role as I built my own small business, my own side hustle. And I really, truly thought that that was the direction for me. I'm very entrepreneurial naturally, and I like to do things very individually on a day-to-day basis. However, the entire last year has taught me that I really, really belong leading a team and in a team. And it was probably about 6 months in that I started to get that feeling. And then the final kind of drop of the coin was when I read Kim Scott's Radical Candor. And once I finished that book, I was like, I need to go back to being part of a team and leading a team. And now I am in that position. And it has been an incredibly, actually unsurprising realization. I really didn't think that I would miss it that much. But when I'm now back in that situation, I realized that this is the place for me to be really fulfilled and for me to grow the most. And so it's one of those situations of following your intuition, even if it's completely different to what you are currently doing. That has been my journey over the last year, and I'm really, really grateful for that realization. One thing moving forward, I think, as we head into the next year is, as leaders, I think one of our focuses should be on having a lot of conversations and remaining really curious. We have all spent this last year in completely different realities. I think it has been a struggle for a lot of people. And I think we all have come out of the last year with a bit of a mentality shift, whether it's a small one, whether it's a big one. And I think moving forward, working in different team dynamics, now we're going some teams 100% remote, some teams partially remote, some teams back to the office. There's so many different dynamics that are now cropping up and that are now our day-to-day realities. And as leaders, I think it's really important that we need to really explore those changes, explore those differences, and make sure that we are continually asking questions, remaining curious, getting to know our teams in different ways than we have before, so that we can really build the strength of the connection within the team to help it really thrive in the best way possible, which, let's be honest, may look completely different than it did 1 to 2 years ago. So that is something that I think we should all be thinking about, me included. I think about it a lot, and that is my number one consideration in terms of leadership moving forward into the next year. Rashad, congratulations on the 1 year of your podcast. What an amazing achievement. I bet you have learned so much over the last year. I still remember our conversation vividly. I'm so glad I got to be a guest on your podcast, and really that I got to be part of the 1 year team, let's say, of your guest pool. So once again, congratulations. What a crazy, crazy, amazing achievement.
Wow, thank you, Caroline and Christina. And curiosity is so important. Staying curious, getting to know your team better, and creating those relationships is really crucial. Christina, that walk across the room must have been just tough. And what a compelling picture, though, of how to handle failures and mistakes in leadership and the type of leader that we all should aspire to be. Okay, so our next 3 returning guests have a really common theme, tying them all together. They have some really interesting points, but there's one thread that follows through the 3 of them, and that is on the importance of connecting with our people and the value of human connection. So speaking to those points is Christopher Mifsud from episode 18. We have Cory Blair from Servant Leadership Academy in episode 44, and we have Leslie M. from episode 50.
Hi there, I'm Christopher Mifsud with Press Start Leadership in Eindhoven, the Netherlands. What is your favorite leadership moment or something that you've learned in the past 12 months? My favorite leadership moment in the past 12 months has been realizing just how important human connections are as a leader. As most of us have been working from home, making sure that you stay in contact with your team on a regular basis, whether daily, weekly, is so important. It really means that you have to stay in contact with folks because everyone was going through this experience on a different level. Some people were isolating themselves. Some people were craving, connections with other folks. You just needed to make sure that as a leader, you were really, keeping in touch, not just for the work aspect of it, but for the personal aspect of it, just making sure your team was okay. And so that was my favorite moment was just getting all those touch points going on with my teams that I've been working with and making sure that everyone's just okay. What is the one thing you want leaders to keep in mind for the year ahead? One thing I think leaders should keep in mind for the year ahead is that it's not over. Things are still in flux. It's not going to be the same normal as before. As we say, we get back to normal. It's going to be quotation air quote normal, right? Things are definitely going to change. Businesses are going to be approaching things from a different standpoint. You're going to see hybrid models. You're going to see people who are sticking to working from home, and everybody's going to want something different, and that's okay. I think what everybody needs to do as a leader, as a business leader, is do what you feel is best for you, and realize that may not be the same for everyone, and be okay with that. Support the people who are embracing working from home and think that's the best thing that's ever happened to their life, or embrace the people that want to come in and that's what their thing is. They want to see people on a daily basis and miss that connection with their team. It's going to be definitely a different experience out there, and just be open to everything and attached to nothing. There's not going to be any single one right answer for things. So just keep that in mind.
Hey, Shawn, it's Cory from the Servant Leadership Academy here in Regina, Saskatchewan. Just wanted to say thanks for a wonderful year of podcasts. Congratulations on your anniversary of your podcast. I was lucky enough a couple months ago to do one with you and talk about servant leadership, and I thought it was awesome. And I really, really appreciate you reaching out and having me on. I think in the last year, we've learned that in society, global, North America, everywhere, that we need each other as humans. And in order to do that, we need good leadership in the world. Not just good leadership, fantastic leadership. And I hope in the next coming year, we dive into that. We care for each other. We use things like empathy, listening, and we understand where each and other is coming from. I think organizations have changed because of this global pandemic. And with that comes new capacity to lead in a different way, and especially lead for your people first. So I hope going forward in the next year that we as leaders across the globe really dive into serving one another, caring for one another, and just being good humans. So again, congratulations on your year anniversary of your podcast. I hope you continue with health and happiness and success. And just remember how awesome you are, dude. Thanks.
Hey, happy anniversary to the Weekly Leadership Experience. I'm Leslie M., and I'm a swagger coach, Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling author and founder of Combustion Training. So what have I learned about leadership over the past year? I think it's more that I've had something affirmed that I already believed was true, which was leadership is all about adaptability. If you can't adapt to new and challenging situations, even unprecedented ones, you are not going to be able to confidently lead your people because stuff happens. Life changes, as we've all seen in a big, bad way this past year. So don't be so concerned about trying to perfect your leadership game. Just try and stay in a place of confidence through the challenges that we can't anticipate. Control is overrated. Adaptability is the thing. And what do I hope going forward for leaders? We've now seen the real stuff of our people. No more glossy front. The things that they leave at home and the things they take to work. Now we've had to accept the entire person. We need to continue to accept the entire person moving forward. And it's not just because we've seen that people have different work styles and different challenges. The big secret is that when you create an environment where your people can truly be themselves, it allows them to bring everything to the party. And that means more productivity for you. It means more innovation for you. And it means way more engagement for you, because your people are going to want to stay where they are fully seen and accepted. That's my advice for you. Swagger on for the year to come.
I really love what these three had to say about the importance of relationship and connecting with our people. It really affirms one of the things that I believe about leadership, and that is that leadership really starts at the point where you begin to create relationships with your team members. Getting to know who they are, letting them be themselves and show up as real, authentic humans, and using empathy and compassion in our leadership is so important. Wrapping things up for us today on this episode is going to be Shawn Askinosie, who appeared on episode 48. Shawn gets really real with us about the important aspect of self-leadership. And then capping things off is going to be Brabo, who appeared on episode 29. Bo talks about a very important principle that he calls people first, mission always.
This is Shawn Askinosie, CEO and founder of Askinosie Chocolate in Springfield, Missouri. And I think that my favorite leadership moment, and maybe what I've learned over the last 12 months, I'm not sure if it's a favorite, but when the pandemic started in the very beginning, I said that one of the important things for leaders is to rely on muscle memory. That is, all of the things that we've practiced and read about and tried and used over the years will come in handy during this time of pandemic and even panic, that we know what to do, we've practiced these things before, and rely on it, and it will be okay. The problem is, at least for me personally, that worked for a while, but I ended up sort of running out of road, so to speak, and that technique of relying on my muscle memory stopped working. And so I thankfully was aware of what was happening, and I needed to seek some help, some professional help for my emotional condition and my mental well-being. And I did that, and I've been doing it, and I'm still doing it. And I consider that to be a leadership moment that I'm grateful for, because it's helped me personally and professionally. I think what to keep in mind for the coming 12 months, the most important thing I think is right now, at least in some places around the world, the economy is absolutely improving, and it's improving at a rapid rate. And I think it's important over the coming 12 months to not necessarily participate in an overheated market. And what I mean by that is, I think it's important to take things slow. We want to benefit from this improving economy for sure. Absolutely. But I also think it's important to take it slow so that we aren't making decisions that we regret 2 years from now. And we're in this for the long haul. And so that's what I think about the coming 12 months.
Hello, my name is Brabo. I am the CEO of Hale Media Group in the Brabo Center of Excellence, former warrant officer in the United States Army, presidential communications officer for Presidents Bush and Obama. Today, through our Leadership Academy, we help our clients build leadership and business acumen, mostly for HR professionals, in an area where they really need the development to to solve for today's most challenging business and people related issues. So that's what we're doing today. In the past 12 months, I would say one of the things or the moments that I've learned since this COVID pandemic took place is really taking on the mantra that we preach or that we believe in wholeheartedly about leading the way. Our motto, be the best at what you do, includes lead the way, make a difference, solve problems. So I too have to get out of my own way in order to lead my company and lead my team and do the types of things that I'm asking them to do. That's what lead the way is. Go forward, go to the front, do the things that you would ask them to do them yourself. That's what we mean. And I would say over the past 12 months, that has really come to fruition big time. And starting our company, it's only barely over a year old. And oh, by the way, congratulations, Rashad, on the 1-year anniversary of your podcast. It was an honor to be a guest on your show. Greatly do appreciate that. And I would say if there's something that I would have people keep in mind over the next year is the one truism that has always been there, but we just need to make sure that we truly focus on it. And that's the number one thing leaders can do, and that's to take care for their people. People first, mission always. That's our mantra. That is my mantra. It's what I believe in wholeheartedly. And what I mean with people first, mission always is that people are at the top. People make our businesses run. People make them hum. People support our clients, serve our clients, make our products, and so forth. It's all about the people we have in our organization. Our mission is why we're in business in the first place, and it's people who take care of that mission. So people first, mission always, stay on track, always focus on what you're in business for. Keep that in mind. When you have to pivot, you pivot, but keep in mind why you're in business in the first place. So it's mission always. Don't get distracted. Pay attention to what you're doing and focus on your people and take care of them. Thank you, Rashad. I appreciate the opportunity to do this shout out for you. And I wish you all the best for the next year of your podcast. I'm sure you'll have some great guests. Can't wait to listen in. Take care.
Well, that's a wrap, folks. Thank you to all of my guests who participated in contributing to this show and to celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Weekly Leadership Experience with me. I've really enjoyed sharing all of their nuggets of wisdom with you, and I know that you got something out of it. I know that there was something there for everyone. Tell me which one was your favorite, which guest or which nugget of wisdom that you took from part 1 or for part 2 of this special edition of the Weekly Leadership Experience. I'm really looking forward to another incredible year ahead. It's going to be fantastic. There's some cool and exciting things on the go and some things that'll come to light in the coming months. I look forward to speaking with you again next week. In the meantime, stay awesome. If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, would you head over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe, leave me a rating, leave me a review, and share this with a friend. It spreads the word and helps the podcast grow. You can also find me on social media at R.E. Oberlander. Until next time, stay awesome.